5 Points began as a mistake of the city. A patch of ground left behind after Collect Pond was filled in and the earth sank into a wet, unhealthy hollow. New buildings were raised on unstable soil, but the wealthy moved away when the smell, the flooding, and the decay became impossible to ignore. Into the vacancy came immigrants, laborers, widows, children, and people with nowhere else to go. At street level, the neighborhood did not feel like a neighborhood at all. It felt like a maze that had given up on order. Tenements leaned over narrow lanes. Sewage ran where sidewalks should have been. Light struggled to reach the windows. In the cramped rooms above the shops, families shared air, water, and disease. Survival became a daily calculation. Mara O'Brien, a young seamstress newly arrived from Ireland, learned this first. By day she worked for a pittance in a shirt factory. By night she crossed alleys where men watched doorways and boys ran errands for older criminals. She had come hoping for wages and dignity. Instead she found a city that recognized her only as labor and a district that seemed to belong to whoever was willing to use force. Elias Grant, a city reporter with ink-stained cuffs and a talent for asking dangerous questions, came to 5 Points expecting the worst. He found it, but he also found something more complicated. He saw gang lookouts, gambling rooms, brothels, and voters threatened outside polling places. He also saw children carrying coal, mothers bargaining for bread, and clerks quietly helping neighbors who had nowhere else to turn. The gangs were real. Dead rabbits, Bowery boys, Wyos, and roach guards fought each other and fed on the district's weakness. They collected protection money, controlled illegal trades, and sometimes decided elections by fear. Police rarely entered certain lanes without backup. Yet Elias noticed that the newspapers outside the district told a simpler story than the one inside it. They called 5 Points a hellscape, but many of those pages were written for circulation, politics, and prejudice as much as for truth. One evening, during a raid gone wrong, Mara was accused of helping a gang runner escape. Elias, who had watched the raid from across the street, saw that the officer had mistaken her for someone else. He also saw how easily a neighborhood like this could be made into a scapegoat. The rumor spread faster than the facts. By morning, the story in print was already larger than the event itself. Years later, Charles Dickens would visit and describe the place in language that carried across the Atlantic, fixing its image in the public mind. Reformers would arrive with plans, surveyors with maps, and builders with demolition orders.